Hey gardenstead fans, it's Kimber coming to you today from one of my local nurseries. I stopped by and saw all these beautiful bronze mums that are out, and having those on display lets me know one thing: fall is on the way. And while I'd love to scoop up some of these mums, that's not what I'm here for today. I'm here for fruit trees because fall is actually the best time to plant fruit trees. Let's go check out some of the trees and I'll let you know why fall is the best time to plant those trees.
You might be surprised to find that fall is actually the best time to plant fruit trees, and that's because there's lower heat and there's shorter days, which help the trees to acclimate with less stress. Now, with lower humidity, that means that the roots are also less likely to dry out, and they're able to get established in the fall so that in the spring they can focus all their energy on growth instead of getting established. The best time to plant containerized fruit trees is between September and November. And what I mean by containerized trees is that the roots are already established in soil, and you'll find those in pots or wrapped in burlap. One of the most popular fruit trees to plant in the fall is apple trees, and that's because they're hardy in zones 3 through 9, which opens the door to so many people across the country to be able to grow this particular type of fruit tree. Now, this is a really important note here. Make sure when you decide which type of fruit tree you'd like to grow that it is hardy in your area. And you can look at the label, and usually in the top right corner it'll say hardy in zones such and such. So for example, I just said the apple trees are hardy in zones 3 through 9, but you'll find that citrus trees are really only hardy in zones 9 through 11. So if you're in zone 3, you might be more likely to choose a plum tree, for example. Whichever fruit tree you'd like to grow, you just need to make sure you check the labels or look online to see which tree is hardy in your zone. Let's look at the label of this Golden Delicious apple tree a little bit closer. If you notice, it says on the back that it is hardy in zones 5 and up. And while I said that you can plant fruit trees, and apple trees in particular, in zones 3 through 9, this variety of apple tree is only hardy in zones 5 and up. So when deciding which fruit tree you'd like to plant, make sure that that variety is available and hardy in your zone. You also need to consider if the fruit tree you'd like to grow is self-pollinating or if it's going to need a pollinator. Now, peach trees, for example, you can just plant the peach trees and those will grow and produce fruit. But some varieties of fruit trees, such as apple trees, are going to need a little bit of help. And if you see on this label, it says plant 3 together. And some apple trees, you can just plant another apple tree, such as the red delicious goes great with the yellow delicious apple. But some of them actually require a different fruit tree to be grown together, such as an apple tree and a pear tree. And growing the right number of trees together and the right type of tree together is the way to make sure that you grow a successful amount of fruit. Another option for growing fruit at home is through fruit-bearing bushes. This would include blueberry, raspberry, and blackberry bushes, which you'll all find at your nursery right now as well. The same principle applies to fruit-bearing bushes as to the fruit-bearing trees, and that's that it has to be hardy in your zone, and some of the bushes require multiple plants in order to produce fruit. So check the label and see how many plants you're going to need before checking out. There are so many options when it comes to planting fruit trees in the fall. Will you plant citrus trees, figs, apple, Asian pear, or maybe plum or apricot trees? Or maybe you decide to skip the trees altogether and go with a bush. Blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries are all great options as well. And planting in fall is the best time. Remember, planting between September and November is the best time to plant fruit trees and bushes because they have a chance to get established now so that in the spring they can focus all their energy on growth and production. Head to your store, check out what's available and what's going to grow in your yard perfectly, and get out there and get planting.